Here's one of the things everybody's been talking about. The search widget does not use Google, it uses Yahoo, which means there's no voice search. You can't just tap a button and say, Pizzeria Uno's or something like that. Type in something though, you still type in pizza or whatever and you'll get search results, but it's not going to be going to Google. You can change the default homepage for the browser to be back to Google if you want though. Clock, nice weather widget. You can put in multiple cities. Seems to be doing something in the background. It's lagging a little bit right now. And of course, another news widget. You can set up news widgets to pull in things from any kind of feed, predefined groups of feeds, or you can define your own feeds, which is really nice. Same thing, the tips and tricks and getting started guides work the exact same way, just through RSS feeds. A lot of handy things though for newcomers to MotoBlur. This is the account management. You can see I've got a test account set up. All these are test email accounts for Google, Facebook. It is my personal Twitter account though. So you can add Picasa even. Give you a look at all the supported services like Last.fm and Bebo, and you can also see Skyrock and Yahoo Mail are fairly recent additions to MotoBlur. Go into settings, and let's go all the way down to about the phone so you can see the firmware running is indeed 1.5. This is Cupcake, so it's quite a bit behind the current state of the art with Android 2.1, and you're going to see Froyo coming out 2.2, not too distant future. So Motorola really needs to get this updated soon. You can go through the wireless controls here, turn on Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, configure the 3G radio and that kind of stuff. You can also get to some of that functionality by long pressing power button, so you can quickly turn on and off airplane mode, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and GPS that way as well. Turn off the GPS just to save power. Backtrack, the controversial mouse pad-like controller on the back, you can actually turn that off if you choose, or turn it back on. If you long press the home key, you'll get quick access to the most recently launched applications. So you can see the browser here when we're looking for pizza, Yahoo search, or jump back to the market quickly. Of course, a short tap just takes you back to the home screen. And if you're somewhere other than the default home screen, a single tap will take you back to that same panel, the home screen. Tap it again, it'll take you back to the default middle panel. You can see there's a built-in instant messaging client for AIM, Windows Live Messenger, and Yahoo. And of course, if we pull up the main menu here with this tab, you'll also see that there is, of course, Google Talk as well. Let's take a look through the main menu. There's a couple of AT&T installed apps, AT&T Navigation, AT&T Maps, listing of Wi-Fi hotspots, All Sport, AT&T Radio, AT&T Music is how you get to the media player if you don't use the widget. It's actually more convenient to use the widget. The email has a slightly updated AT&T icon, but is otherwise pretty much the same. Help Center. Happenings is how you get through and look at your status updates in a list view instead of going through and looking at everything, panel by panel and swiping across home screen widgets. Everything is integrated. By default, you can also show just Twitter or just Facebook updates though. Let's get back to the main menu there. You can see the camcorder and camera. We'll show you that in a little bit. Gmail is installed, in spite of the fact that there's no Google search. There is Google Mail. This managed SIM card is a new application, showed up on the Click not too long ago. It allows you to import contacts from your SIM card or save them back out to the SIM card. AT&T's mobile video service, Mobi TV, Music ID, mobile banking. I mean, there's an awful lot of stuff in here, and unfortunately, you can't get rid of them if you choose. Since there's no way to organize the home screen, or the main menu rather, it's really kind of annoying if there are 8, 9 different apps that AT&T puts on there that you just don't want. You can't get rid of them at all. There are some real good ones though. Wear is really nice, and we saw Yellow Pages Mobile is also very nice. Pull up the YouTube clients, just like we've seen in all the other Android devices. And let's just play that first video. Looks like a girl playing a guitar. So we're back in the web browser. This is the mobile version of the Mobile Burn website. You can, of course, view full HTML websites. So we'll load this up. This is on a pretty speedy 3G connection from AT&T right now. So we'll see how long that takes. No Flash support built in, but otherwise a pretty nice browser. So here's the full Mobile Burn homepage. No multi-touch zooming, so you have to use these on-screen controls. There's also a quick button here for zooming all the way out so you can easily find what you're looking for. And this button over here takes you back to the default zoom level. Now multi-touch zooming is a lot nicer for this because you have to move the screen in order to get the controls to come up, because you see that they disappear after a while. So if you want to zoom from here, you actually have to drag the screen a bit before you get the zoom controls. Kind of a pain. But in general, the browser works really well. You can always look at something like the Dolphin browser. It's a little bit better, has tabbed browsing and stuff like that. But overall, works quite nicely. So here's that other page. And one of the things I'm finding quite odd is there doesn't appear to be any. You can see the problem right there. I was touching the backtrack. Normally I would edit something like that out, but that is a real problem with that backtrack device. It's kind of useful at times, but it's mostly not useful. You can see I had no idea what was going on. I was left dumbfounded as the screen started jumping around. In any case, you can disable that, which I think most people are going to do. And what I wanted to point out, though, is there doesn't appear to be any double tap zooming control for zooming in and out, which I thought there would be. So you're really stuck using just the manual controls here, which is a bit of a pain. When you do zoom in or zoom out, though, the text reformats. You'll see how it gets tighter or larger depending on how it'll fit, so as it fits on the screen, which is nice. But still, it leaves a lot left to be desired from the browser in terms of zooming controls. There are multiple windows and things like that, though. So I mean, it's not by no means is it a useless browser. It's just not as good as it could be. I'm going to pop into the Gmail client so you can take a look at that. Nice inbox. You can easily star things. Pull up a message from MotoBlur when I set up the new account. Let's see, it has full HTML support, so images, HTML text, everything like that. One of the things I don't like, though, is you have to go all the way to the bottom of the message just to get to the button, hit reply. And another thing I don't like, and this really comes down to it's just the backflip, has nothing to do with Gmail, is the keyboard. The keyboard's just really not working out for me. Yeah, it's large, spaced out, and I think that's half of its problem. It's just you have to move around too much. There's too much space. I do like that you can, double tap on the space bar to get periods and stuff like that in the autocorrection. You saw I typed THERES with no apostrophe and autocorrected. But I don't like the feel of the keyboard, and I don't like the layout, and it's really moving around a lot. If they had taken some of the space and put a real D-pad in there, I think people would like it a lot more. But also, there's just issues that are just not good feel. Depending on where you hit them, sometimes they just they don't seem to click, or they do, but you're not sure that they did. Spacebar I've been having some problems with, and it's a membrane. If we can get in a little closer here, you can see they're not separate keys. It was a nice effort, and I understand why they did things the way they did. If it's sitting on the back, this is exposed all the time. It really has to be sealed. You can't have something like that constantly picking up pocket lint. And the size is just too big for me, and I'm just really not a fan. And I think that's really going to be the big problem for most people with this device. But anyway, you can see it does work, and you can, of course, type with an on-screen keyboard, but the on-screen keyboard in this is not particularly good. I do find the touchscreen to be more responsive than that on the Motorola Click for T-Mobile, though. And if you can get a beta copy of the swipe text input method, you'd probably be fairly happy with text input on the touchscreen. In any case, once you have the Gmail message typed in, of course, you just hit the send button and off it goes. And unfortunately, these poor people at Motorola are going to get this test message. I'm sure they'll get over it, though. You can see the status. It's sending it right now. Go into settings, just so you can see what you can do. You can set a signature, specify which of the labels get synchronized. Good selection of things here, and you can even customize the notifications. So if you're a Gmail user, I think you'll find this to be a pretty good Gmail client. This is the download history of the browser, and I'm here to show you one of the things that really pisses me off on this device. AT&T has restricted applications to only those coming through the Android market. So I cannot install this beta of NitroDesk's Touchdown. It's an Exchange client that I use. I couldn't install beta of Swipe. I couldn't install a lot of different betas or applications that I use. And this is a real problem for developers. You can't send out test applications. It's not easy to work on this. You can't really publish an untested application on the Android market. So how are you supposed to get it out to people? I mean, luckily all other devices on the market don't have this issue, but AT&T is really doing something wrong here. If we go into the settings to applications, you'll see there's no ability to allow for untrusted third-party applications, which you would see in the Motorola Click or just about any other device on the market. So this is the camera application. See, focus by pushing part of the way on the shutter button. Press it all the way to take the photo. The newest photo shows up in the bottom right hand corner here. See, it takes us to a quick viewer. At which point you can easily share, set it as a wallpaper, or go into the full gallery application. This is Motorola's gallery app. It's pretty nice. It's sometimes a little bit slow running, but it allows you to sort things, tag them, and manage them a little bit better. Everything's organized by date as well. It's hard, you can't see much of that here because these are all brand new photos. I just got the device yesterday, but it's the same one we see on the Click. It's not bad, but it's probably not quite as nifty as the version we see on like the Nexus 1 or anything like that. So that's my look at the Motorola BACKFLIP for AT&T. Interesting hardware design, very solidly built. I like the large hinge, works really well. The inverted fold, though, I'm not sure about that. I think that's a little odd. I don't really think it hampers the device too much, but what does hamper it is the keyboard design. The keys are just too large, too spread out. You have to hunt and peck a bit too much for my liking. Also could really use a D-pad because the backtrack controller on the rear of the display is a real fail. I think everybody's going to end up turning that off. Luckily you can disable it. I do like the metal cover on the back of the device though, and as I said, everything feels nice and solid and a really good hinge. The display has also been very responsive, much more so than the Motorola Click. So even though it seems to be the same 3.1 inch half VGA capacitive display, it seems to work a little bit better. So maybe they've just tweaked it a bit. So I'm going to give it it's a recommended rating. It's not a great device, but if you're on AT&T and you want Android, it's definitely good enough to get you there. It's just there's better options out there, and I think Motorola can do better than this. And once maybe we see firmware updates for it, maybe I'll change my mind a little bit about the device. But for now, that's the Motorola BACKFLIP for AT&T. I'm Michael Orrell for MobileBurn.com.